Hello and welcome to Clay to Canopy, the show where I attempt to make just about everything from the ground up. And welcome to Don't Make the Dragon Build series. If you are just tuning in, I am building a dragon-shaped she shed on wheels. That is certainly a mouthful every time I say it, and it does not get any easier. And this dragon-shaped she shed on wheels is about 10 by 6 feet. And it's going to be a cozy little nest sort of getaway type of den. I will link all of the previous videos in the description. If you have not been following along, you can go ahead and check them out. If you are new to this channel, welcome. Thanks for checking this out. And please subscribe if you are not already subscribed. Like this video, like my other videos on this channel. It's just starting to pick up its stride, and I look forward to a lot of really cool projects like the one I am working on now. It is Wednesday, October 26th, and I am just now starting this vlog. A lot has happened this past week off camera. Before I get all into what I have done thus far, I think I need to do a bit of a check-in. It is almost, I would say we're 2/3 of, and this is again why you need to subscribe so I can go find a quieter place to work. If you're new to this channel, you probably do not know, I am a part-time lecturer with nearly a full-time load. I teach 5 classes. I have roughly about 100 to 130 students that I work with per semester, and a lot of times they will carry over and I will have some that come back to me. But it's a little bit different when you are an instructor of something in the creative field. It's not like a regular lecture type of deal, talking about a topic and the students are asking questions and responding based off of that one singular topic and nothing changes. I teach students how to unlock creativity, and they are working on all unique projects. I do give them a base set of skills in whatever we're working on. I present them with a topic or a type of technique that they need to learn, but pretty much beyond that, all 100 to 130 of them are working on very unique projects. And so as an instructor, I am constantly working through 130 other people's ideas while I am also trying to work through my own. And it doesn't leave me when I leave the classrooms. I am very much so an introvert, and even though I'm here in front of the camera, it's a little bit different, and when I'm teaching, I am very much so on, but I need my downtime and I need my time to be in the studio. Otherwise, I get drained really quickly, really fast, and at this point in the semester, things are moving pretty fast, and I have lots of students with lots of different projects, and I have like all of this stuff happening in my head for all of their things and all of my things, and it's about this time in the semester where I get overloaded and I need to have this massive shutdown space. I will take some time to just make for me something as simple as even just cooking myself a meal, sort of a mental health space, and it also is just like self-care. Anyhow, that is slowing down my process, but also I'm at the point in this project, there's a lot of tiddly research type things and running around errands that need to happen before I can move forward. I have not uncovered this thing yet. It has been this way for a couple weeks because the rain is on again, off again. And she's under here, under this tarp. I have the shell leaning up against the back end of the trailer. The trailer is nice and cozy under here. If the shell does come in contact with water, it is waterproofed at this point, but the top of the trailer is not, and that is one of the things that's on my list to do. This is in a standstill point because I need other parts to finish before I can move on. We've been getting periodic rain that we're not supposed to get. To get some epoxy on the top of that base, I think that I will be good to combat our rainy season that is going to take care of things from getting wet, but it isn't going to help me any with the cure time on the epoxy and things setting up. What I have been also spending time doing is adjusting all of the head parts of the patterns. In order for me to assemble the whole shell of the dragon and attach it to the base, I need to get rid of the canopy. I need to ensure that the entire thing is going to be waterproof once it goes together, which means I need the window frame finished because the windows have to be in order for this thing to be waterproof. All of the bits and the openings need to be taken care of. The head needs to be put on. I don't think that that is even accomplishable before December, January rainy season. That's just not even practical. Since the head is going to be a lot smaller, I should still be able to work in here on the head, which is probably going to take me a couple months to work out the head anyway. I'm going to guess sometime around February I should be at a point where all the pieces are done and there's just going to be this big assembly. I don't know. That probably may change. In my head right now, today, that is what the plan is. That sample piece I had done the sand through on, I was really hoping to get this same brand, Varathane, in some kind of green. They do not make it. What I did find was gloss hunter green enamel that is oil based. I bought some acetone to dull it down, and what I'm going to do is try and get just a thin haze into these cracks where the sand turned it natural. I want to retain the black, and then I want to have flecks of green coming through. This is going to be the finish of this frame, so I will be testing this out. There's going to be individually cut pieces out of most likely 1/4 inch around where this glass sets in, so that I can basically bolt that piece of wood over where the glass goes in, and the glass goes in and stays tight, and it acts as a frame. In order to make it removable, I'm going to sink these stainless steel bolts head down in resin into the frame. I would have a cap nut that holds the piece of wood down and keeps the glass in. I want them epoxied upside down on the inside so that I don't have a hole running through. Also, it's a safety thing, right? If like this is out in the middle of wherever, the desert probably, and I'm spending the night in it, I don't want somebody on the outside. I mean, of course, if I see somebody on the outside unscrewing screws, I don't think anybody could crawl through any one of these holes, but you never know. Anyhow, but I think the best thing to do before I go screwing this in and trying to deal with alignment is to cut the frames that are going to go in here so I can smack it on top, drill the set holes through both pieces. That way they're already aligned. So my thoughts about thinning this green out, I wanted it to be a little bit more transparent, more like a stain. So I'm gonna thin it out with this acetone because that's what it says. Wacky, something. Yeah, that's right. I don't know names of tools. It's just wacky and smashy. This is gonna have to fully dry for a couple of days before I can throw epoxy over it. I tell you, I'm kind of happy right now. It's real nice. Yee. Oh yeah, yeah. I am digging that. So I'm going to set these materials aside, set this aside to let it fully dry, and then the next thing I'm going to do is reset for some smashing of glass. I'm just going to pick a random bag. These all were washed. I'm not going to smash these on this table. I need to do it over on the cement. There's so many to do. I might as well just throw one in a bag and call it. Here comes the noise. So I'm gonna continue this process with my small, medium, large. All right, y'all. It is Saturday morning. Wednesday, I finished up smashing all of that glass and got it containered up and brought to campus. I then filled my 70-ish molds, probably more than that, because I actually fired up some of the little tester molds that I had laying around. It was a 17-hour firing this time. I was playing it cautious. I increased the time on a bunch of things. Yesterday I was on campus. However, the kiln was close to 300 degrees and I did not feel comfortable cracking that thing open. I will be heading to campus to collect the molds. Hopefully everything went okay, knock on wood. That's gonna happen though tomorrow morning. Today is Saturday, October 29th. I've decided that since the majority of week 13 was literally just a bunch of errand running and research based stuff except for Wednesday, I'm just gonna tack Wednesday onto this weekend and this will be week 13. I just noticed there is I think dead lizard underneath Evangeline over there. I think that's the same lizard she was dragging around and I kept rescuing, and it was stupid enough to keep getting caught. And I kept putting it in different places around the yard that it wouldn't get found, but apparently it got found again. Evangeline is still in the same condition. There's tarp over it and the one corner propped. It is going to rain again on Wednesday. Today, try and take care of the top, sand it down, get the epoxy applied. I have been having my eye out on a power supply unit. I got one for $168. That was 650 watts of regular current, 750 peak. It's peak power, meaning it has that surge power. The fog machine says it's a 500 watt fog machine unit, but it's 500 watt on the startup. When things have motors, like all the saws, and there's an initial startup that requires an extra power to kick the motor off. And I was not sure if this fog machine was going to be the same way. And there was nothing in the literature of the fog machine to tell me what the running time was versus peak wattage or the startup wattage. But it turns out that the 500 was the warm-up time on the fog machine. You know, that fog machine needed 3 minutes to heat up. But as soon as it hits the warm-up time, the wattage reduced. And when I hit the button to make the fog go, it was like minimal wattage. So I think that this 650 watt battery supply is going to be more than capable of doing a whole bunch of other things. Anyhow, that makes me happy. It's given me that little burst of, all right, we can do this in this moment of like the lull of the project taking forever. And on that note, what often happens when I hit these points, you know, is if I don't have enough to do, I'm like, sure, let's start a new something. This mess was also Wednesday, where I decided to start a new piece, gallery work. It's been a while since I've done specific gallery work. I did start some pieces that never really fully came together. The last time I think I made gallery work was before this channel launched. It's overdue, and I needed some time for my soul to just do stuff off camera. That's what this mess is. I'm excited about it. I'm happy to have a little bit of a mental break from Evangeline. I love her to death, but getting to a point where I needed a breather or I was gonna go crazy. So anyhow, for today, I'm gonna clean up this mess and then I will go and hit the top of the base. Whoa, it's alive! Buddy! Yes, you're alive! You're a cool looking one. Hi. Hey, buddy. I'm happy you're alive. Let's go place you somewhere. Yay! No lizard funeral. Unfortunately, while I was filming some of that sanding, the good tripod broke and I have this on a very janky tripod, so I need to order a new one. I successfully finished sanding the top with a 220. It is nice and smooth, and now I'm gonna go ahead and apply some epoxy resin. It is, I think, around 80 degrees. Let me check. 72, high of 79, which is great because that means I can go ahead and use the fast set hardener, which I've noticed is a little bit of an ambering yellow color. When I compared the glass to the enamel paint is a little bit more of an aqua cooler color and the glass is more of a warm tone. I'm hoping it'll kind of bring those two colors a little bit closer together. If not, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna roll with it because it's what I got, and hopefully it won't bug me too much that the colors are slightly off. Yeah, this dang tripod is freaking me out. Camera's fallen off of it several times while I've been working, and this is not the cheap camera. I did get online and order the replacement part for the other tripod, but it's gonna take a minute for it to get here. I think that right now this frame is like really wonky and janky. I can't even tell because I can't see the screen and I'm afraid to touch the tripod. I'm just gonna clean up and tidy this mess for the rest of this afternoon and call it. I'm feeling more comfortable switching to the cheaper camera, so the footage might look a little bit different tomorrow and Monday until whenever the heck the new bit gets here. Alright y'all, the firing itself was successful. There are some problems. Some of the molds have too many undercuts. I did not open them wide enough and the pieces of glass are kind of jammed in there. So it's going to take some doing, I think, to get them out successfully without breaking the mold. I'm going to take them all home and get them back to the studio. What I need to do now, though, is to test that new bullseye glue that I bought, because I don't want to glue these up to things and then have those little white random dots stuck to the corners of the glass. Sunday morning, I probably should have said that before I started filming what was in the kiln, but I really needed to open it and see what the heck was going on over there. I'm ridiculously tired. I'm using the old camera, the less expensive camera, so footage-wise, I'm not sure. I think footage has been about equal except for the sound on this camera. I apologize ahead of time. I'm still waiting for the part, but work cannot stop because I am just too exhausted and I need to just keep going, because at this point, if I don't keep going, I'm probably just gonna crash, and that would not be good. Okay, I want all 4 of these trees for options when it comes to the decor inside the dragon. Originally, I thought I'd be able to pop the tree out and then make something out of wood and stick this in, but this is too fragile as a sheet, and I really like the way that it turned out by placing this onto a sheet of glass and firing it, and then having that piece of glass as a support. These larger pieces did really great in the mold with picking up the texture. The texture is there on that glass, which is really nice. So I'm going to be cutting glass to fire this down, and hopefully that texture will stay. I brought some scrap glass I had from home. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up and leave it sitting here, and then I'm going to go unload the kiln, because I need that same kiln to fire this tester off in. I'll set a timer to see how long it takes for this glue to set. Well, the glue definitely did not dry yet, but I just need to make sure that it doesn't leave a residue. Whatevs. Alright, may the odds be ever in your favor. Alrighty, let's go with enter program user 2.
When I came to, I had a revelation. A picture of this. The flux capacitor. Great God! 1.21 gigawatts. What the hell is a gigawatt?
Alright, review. And we're rolling. I'm gonna load up this stuff and head on back to the studio. Monday morning, y'all. Aside from the fact that it's gonna rain in a couple days, the surface is nice, but there's a morning dew. It's wet. So I need to get this squared away. We gotta put the tarp back up and get this back up on the back end for protection. It is a blistery Monday. I do not live close to campus. It's a good minimum half hour if there's absolutely no traffic commute in one direction. 45 minutes is light traffic. An hour and a half is like normal day, normal traffic. Yesterday, I had a couple errands to take care of, and needless to say, it was like late afternoon by the time I had gotten back and settled and unloaded the truck. So I did not get back out here to work on any of these glass bits. Today is Monday, October 31st. It's Halloween. I have a black cat, and it's Halloween, and my children do not like it when mommy's outside working on things and they're cooped up inside. I don't feel comfortable today with letting them roam around because people sometimes cannot be so nice and do bad things to cats that I'm not even going to get into it. So needless to say, I want to spend today inside with my babies. I'm hitting an overload point. I'm feeling overwhelmed, pulled in too many different directions right now. I want a break from like all other things so that I can just be out here and do nothing but studio, and that's not going to happen anytime soon. I pretty much don't have a life. I work and then I'm here in the studio. That's it. Don't really take days off. Taking a day off is really like an evening off to like go to Disneyland and have some dinner and maybe jump on a couple rides and come home. There is no such thing as like days off for me in my world, not usually, because I go stir crazy and I like wander around like trying to find things to do. I think the last day off I took was part of last weekend when I was doing those errands and I cleaned the house. Yeah, because like house things fall by the wayside while I am doing this kind of projects. My point is, a one random day is not going to do it. So I'm thinking I might take the rest of this week off from filming and from being out here and not count it as a build week. I'm going to call this here. I hope you've had a happy Halloween. You're going to be seeing this in February. But anyhow, please like, share, and subscribe if you have not done so already. Stick around to watch this project unfold. And remember, don't wake the dragon.